Please join me in welcoming Tyler Malek.
Oh, hello. How ironic that my line is what's holding everyone up. Thank you all so much. I am honored to be here. I think, my cousin and I started Salt and Straw in 2011 in Portland. We started as a push cart, and our dream was to just open one location and be this community gathering place. And what was amazing is we found that our flavors and the way we created ice cream and the way we provided hospitality actually became this focal point for neighborhoods. And as we grew, we can continue to kind of create these spots where it would just kind of glow in a neighborhood. I remember when we finally got to open, we got this beautiful corner on Abbot Kinney in LA. I don't know if anyone knows that neighborhood. We were really scared because it was so busy. And a neighbor walked up and he was like, I've been living here for 25 years on Abbot Kinney. And we were like, okay. And he's like, I haven't seen this street as lively and beautiful as this in 15 of those years. So we are so honored because I think this idea of bringing hospitality and flavor to food can really change lives. I first have to kind of call out the elephant in the room that an ice cream maker is the keynote speaker for a vegan or a dairy-free food awards show. But I am in love with plant-based foods, and this has been a passion of mine for my whole life. Secretly, we make and sell about 20% of our menu as vegan. I think I've only looked at 2 million lines of SPINS data, but I think we're probably one of the top 10 vegan ice cream food makers in the country. Personally, so my wife actually has an incredible vegan pudding company up in Portland if you come visit. My first cookbook I ever bought when I was 17 was Veganomicon, which if anyone knows, it's the best vegan cookbook in the world. It also inspired me to go to culinary school. So everything that we're working on, I am so fascinated with. But we got to talk about Salt and Straw. So I kind of poured through my notes, and actually we've got what we call a record of legends. And I had to pull up this story that we have from about 2 years ago at our shop in Disneyland. And she wrote this letter to us and said, my daughter has a whole list of things she's allergic to. Milk being one that she's deathly allergic to. So she doesn't get to eat much. It's too risky, especially not out and about. Actually, she's never had dessert outside of our house. When we arrived at Salt and Straw after a long day in Disneyland, we warned the team and they knew exactly what to do, pulling out brand new containers of vegan ice cream, new spoons, and new scoops. When I apologized, the server kept saying, take your time, ask me any questions you have, and we're here to serve you. That's nice, right? I couldn't believe it. I've never experienced such amazing, awesome customer service. What the team probably didn't know was that this is the first time ever my daughter has been able to eat ice cream with us. It made her feel included, feel normal, and even after visiting Disneyland, this ice cream experience was the highlight of our trip. I love that story because in our test kitchen, every single day we remind ourselves this really cool saying, this kind of fundamental principle that we actually I stole from Will Guidara from his book, Unreasonable Hospitality. And he has this saying, says, choose worthy rivals. I love that, choose worthy rivals. And at Salt and Straw, choosing worthy rivals is really important. We talk about this a lot. Our rivals are not Ben & Jerry's, it's not Baskin Robbins. Our rivals are, when you go out to Salt and Straw, what have you done? You probably would have gone to a Warriors game, you would have gone to a movie theater, maybe you would have gone to Disneyland, That completely changes your perspective. What's a worthy rival for your company? And in this case, we actually beat Disneyland, which is kind of crazy. I think as we step back, as I was preparing this, I was kind of thinking about what are my favorite recipes I've ever created. And this idea of actually one of our most famous vegan ice creams is a mint chocolate chip. And what's interesting about this is when we started making this mint chocolate chip, we didn't come at it from this idea. It was never from like how do we make a mint chocolate chip ice cream better that's vegan? Instead, I remember I actually had there's this really cool bar, it's now closed in Portland, called Pepe La Moco. And they had this coconut grasshopper, which sounds like it's like a drink that you would have like learned to make when you're like 20 and you're like, trust us, it's like sugar. And it was one of my favorite drinks I've ever had. It was so weird and delicious. And so we started recreating it in ice cream. And it turns out, I think mint and coconut actually work better together. Like mint and dairy just don't work. Mint just overwhelms it. But mint and coconut, they almost like fight against each other in the most beautiful way. And when you just, freckle in chocolate, we work with Cho to make this vegan chocolate for us. And so we freckle that into the ice cream. It's unbelievable. And what's interesting there is I love this idea. It goes back to that same philosophy. The rival was not, let's make vegan version of mint chocolate chip. Instead, it was saying, this is the best cocktail I've had in the past 10 years, and let's make a version of this. And it just so happens to be non-dairy. So here we are at Nectar's wonderful party, which I'm so honored. When they came to me and explained, like, this is purely about taste, we want to talk about taste, I just felt over the moon, because this is exactly what it's about. I think it's fun to talk about the food science. I'm like a total nerd about it, but at the end of the day, does that matter? It's really about choosing this amazing idea of creation and artistry and infusing in everything we do. The cheeses you're tasting are using these thousands of years of history and infusing them into ingredients that are nut-based instead of milk. It's just that simple. And what's cool is that you can see they literally tested hundreds of products, and there are flavors out there that are actually becoming better because they're non-dairy based, not in spite of it. It's crazy. I mean, we're here because this is a room of world changers. You're literally dedicating your life energy to changing how we eat in America. It's cool. Fucking cool. We're here to do cool shit. Like, and we get to actually change how people's perception. And so this is where I'm at. I want to talk. I love this story. This idea, choosing a worthy rival, is really important. And I think to be honest, I've been in this world. I've been stuck in, especially when we're creating vegan ice cream flavors, stuck in this like, oh, how do we create a vegan version of this? Or what's a dairy-free alternative to this? And et cetera, which is kind of bullshit at the end of the day. Like we're not choosing a worthy rival. Like instead, I love this idea of like finding these just epic, really cool techniques, using the artistry around food, and again, using non-dairy ingredients to make things better because they're dairy-free or because they're plant-based. So let's all raise a spoon to the brands, making sustainability taste amazing. Because if it doesn't taste good, then it won't sell. And tonight's winners are proving that great taste can change the world. Congratulations to all the 2026 Tasty Award honorees, and thank you for letting me share the joy of flavor innovation with you tonight.